Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, today I want to talk about a topic which has been brewing in my mind for quite some time. And with the latest Act and rewards coming out, it's been a hot topic in the community anyway. So, I want to share my 2 cents on this and kind of highlight a few things which is happening in the MCOC forum where the gaming community is interacting with Kabam. I cannot stress enough on the fact that I don't intend this to be a complaining video. I'm just voicing my opinion, and by no means I think it's absolute. I know people might disagree with me, but let's just do that respectfully. The only point I'm trying to raise here is that I believe that there is a growing disparity between rewarding spending and skill in this game. Now, if you ask me, this became fairly obvious after analyzing what happened during and after this year's sizzling summer deals. One would think that the endgame rewards will be buffed at least a little after the market got flooded with the endgame resources via sales. But as we came to see, this was not the case. Take a look at the Colosseum first. Mind you, this is an event that runs for almost 2 months, and all you can get is 1.5 tier 5 alpha. Now, let me emphasize that the issue is not necessarily the rewards, it's how it diminishes in comparison to the next Kabam sales. Now, one could argue the fact that Colosseum was an event that existed long before the introduction of the summer sales and how the game economy changed. Okay, fair enough, you don't expect Kabam to change every rewards in every in-game content, but that's not the case with the Act and rewards. 1/5 of a tier 5 alpha for exploring a chapter in Act 10? Seriously, Kabam, would it hurt you to put a 3 to 4 gem or a 3 to 4 gem crystal there? Would it hurt you to put a full tier 5 alpha? To me, this is an insane nerf in rewards, especially considering the fact that up to 10 rank 5 champions were up for grabs for anyone who was willing to spend in the game for the last sales. So, as one would expect, there was a lot of discussion on this in the forums. And while I play this clip showcasing some of this discussion, let me elaborate on my perspective. And after that, I will highlight some very valid points raised by some players in the forums. Now, to be fair, I absolutely loved how Kabam introduced the Elder title and the careerness challenges that were associated with it. I love the fact that I had to watch a bunch of my favorite YouTubers make content on how to tackle it. I had to ration out my resources since I was free to play. I had to dedicate time to tackle these challenges and make sure I do it in a timely manner so that I'm not overwhelmed towards the end and don't miss the deadlines. So it was really exciting for me. That aspect of the game always kept me excited to play this game. So it was fun. It was fun until I reached the Elder title, and it was also fun for another 2 months until the sizzling summer sales came out. Now, I'm not necessarily mad that Kabam rewarded spending in that event. In fact, I was kind of expecting it. Did I like the fact that someone who was willing to spend could walk away with more than 3 times the reward that I gained by finishing the latest content in the game? No, I wasn't very happy about it, but it's a business model that they chose, and I was okay with it. It wasn't going to make me quit the game or stop playing it or make me any less interested in playing the game. I always accepted the fact that spending money on the game came with certain privileges. Even if I don't agree with it, I was gonna cope with it. That's the mini game that I play within this game, and it's kind of exciting for me. So that was not the issue for me. When the Act 10 came out, first of all, I was underwhelmed by how the challenge was getting nerfed, and second of all, I was underwhelmed by how the rewards were kind of nerfed. Now, I am someone who did Act 6 before it was nerfed. I in fact did it itemless because my favorite YouTuber was Brian Grant, and I wanted to try doing what he did. So I tried finishing Act 6 itemless. I wasn't insane enough to explore it the way he did. Anyway, and I love the fact that those acts could take forever to finish. I also like the fact that Act 8 bosses were hard to face, but Kabam slowly moved away from all those aspects of the game. They were reducing the number of paths in it, they were nerfing the bosses, and now they're also nerfing the rewards. So that to me is the real issue. You're bringing out a game mode exclusive to your most elite player base, so make sure it's challenging, make sure it's rewarding, and that's going to uplift the morale of your entire player base, whether they are free to play, whether they are casual spenders, whether they are whales, whether they are elders, whether they are valiant. They would all want to do this content at some point, so it's going to incentivize your entire player base to do these contents. There already exists a lot of game modes incentivizing pay to win aspect of the game. There is the towers, there is the battlegrounds, there is the ascension aspect of the game, which in itself is a topic for another video. So maybe just leave acts the way it used to be. Let's move on to some thoughts from the community in the forum. Jake Cooper here says, anyone else feel like the rewards for the Epilogue feels a bit too much paragon / valiant for your liking? Well, that's exactly what I felt. I felt like the chapter 1 rewards were not good enough for the elder player base. I mean, if they are going to give these kind of rewards, they might as well open it for the rest of the player base. And he kept going saying, Kabam were saying lately that the recent Colosseum rewards weren't tailored for elders because you've got a new story mode coming, and quite frankly those rewards were worse than Colosseum. Well, in Kabam's defense, I don't think that's exactly what Kabam Mike said in that live stream. He might have clapped those things together, but I don't think that's what he meant. But either way, we can all agree that the rewards for the latest story mode is not very appealing. Up next, we have Nerval saying, forget the rewards, let's talk about the laziness of the content. Once upon a time, story content had double-digit paths per quest, many paths with double-digit fights, complete with a story. Fast forward a bit, after the horribleness of Act 6, Kabam locked into a happy place with 6 paths per quest. Go a little further, Kabam drops it to 3 paths per quest. At that time, I had locked into the opinion that Kabam was just trying to take work off their plate, which they were, as this was when they also started to walk back their buff promises. And now here we are, an entire chapter of story content is one more fight than a single path of a single quest in a single chapter. What in the actual couch potato, copy and paste, lazy to know and approach are we trying to take to story content? That's a very valid question. Not only did we choose not to make fights, but we choose to do nothing to make them challenging for the highest level progression in the game to which they are locked. Of course, we can't make it challenging because not only would we have to make it more rewarding, but we would need to put actual creative work into it. The rewards are perfectly fine for the content, they are not fine for the elders. And the content itself is not fine. It is new peak laziness, and it is becoming sickeningly consistent how little Kabam wants to actually do. I am guessing, with bated breath, that story content won't stay here, but it never should have gotten here. Now, I understand that sentiment. It's only natural that the elder player base would think that Kabam was lazy with the design of the Act 10 content so far, considering the fact that lately Kabam have been pushing out content like hotcakes in the form of towers and Colosseum. Now up next we have a statement from It's Clobber in Time. A lot of people are missing the point, and that is that this content hardly feels like content designed for elder players. The content itself isn't really challenging, and the rewards don't even give you a full rank 4. That alone should tell you this whole thing isn't really tuned for elders and shouldn't be open specifically to elders only. It feels like it's more for valiants. People are free to disagree, but going from 10 rank 5s on a sale to 3/4 of a rank 4 for one chapter is funny. LOL, I would have loved it if they made the content harder and therefore made the rewards better. Now, I 100% agree with this statement. This is exactly how I feel. And Pensito here says, spot on, those days are gone. Really completing and earning something special. They let us keep the revives, but for what now? Up next, I want to address a statement made towards Kabamasaurus Rex, aka Karate Mike. World Eater said, I sincerely hope you realize how terrible you are at communicating with the community. You are widely unqualified to do this job, and you are almost single-handedly ruining the minuscule amount of goodwill Kabam has left. You really should stop talking and find a new career path. Now, I disagree with this comment here. I think Kabamasaurus Rex is doing a pretty good job with the live streams, and it's not him who is making the decisions. He is the messenger. What's the point of shooting the messenger here? So I don't support personally attacking anyone over an issue we have. And he responded saying, "You're entitled to disagree with me or with the game's reward structure. My job is to communicate how the game currently works, including the philosophy of the game, of the in-game reward ecosystem, and to bring player feedback back to the team. That doesn't always mean I get to deliver the answer people want to hear, and of course that can be frustrating. If you think elders should receive additional rewards in specific areas, that's something I can continue advocating for. But comments about anyone's qualification or career don't do anything to move the discussion forward. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Even when we disagree, I'd rather spend time talking about the game and the feedback associated with it." Now, yeah, that was a very mature response, and I completely agree with him here. I don't think we should attack Kabamasaurus Rex here. We should try to discuss this and solve it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. My sincere thanks to you if you made it this far. Do let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section, and also let me know how you think I can improve my videos. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.